Hello again, it's Tamara Bennett with Southern Adoornments Decor and founder of the Painters Clubhouse. Welcome to video 3 about hand lettering in the painter's journey to confidence. I know all of you guys have really been enjoying this series so far, and I want to thank you guys who have joined me every single night thus far. I really appreciate your support and all of the wonderful comments and everything that has been submitted. So tonight we're going to be talking about hand lettering. And I have some brushes that I'm going to show you guys that are my favorite brushes. So y'all come in and tell me hello. First of all, I want to apologize to those of you who like to get my notifications when I go live. I goofed this up big time and sent out the notification at the wrong time because I can schedule when to send that notification. And you have to like set it in military time, and you know, as a military wife, I should know what military time is. And I asked my husband, what time is 7 o'clock, not knowing in my head, like, that's not when I want to send it out. So I sent it out at the wrong time. So I'm so sorry if I confused you guys. I'm a hot mess up in here, and I never know what's going on. So anyways, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the #1 struggle that most painters face when painting their door hangers. And the reason I know this is because I asked everyone in our free group called the Door Hanger Painting Tips group what was their biggest struggle when it comes to painting door hangers. And the #1 answer was hand lettering. So I'm here to talk to you about hand lettering tonight and give you some tips and some pointers on ways that you can improve your hand lettering, and some little tricks to kind of like things you can practice right now. So who's excited to learn? Thank you. It's actually a tank top, Lisa. It's one of my favorites. Thank you. Okay. Hannah, if you're on here, are you able to share this into the free group for me? If not, I may have somebody on here do it, but I think I saw Hannah pop up watching. So Hannah, give me a thumbs up or something if you were able to share it into the group. I did connect the bot to the group. So if you have not joined the free group, type in the word join and it will send you a message so that you can go and join the free group. So type in the word join if you want to join the free group. I've already got that activated. Okay, so maybe you're a beginner and you've never even painted any letters on a door hanger before, or maybe that you've done this a few times and you're not satisfied with your results. So in this video, I'm going to show you a few things that painters like you and me can do to be more confident in our hand lettering, because I know it may appear like I'm super confident in my hand lettering, but I'm not. I'm just like you guys. I get frustrated with things not turning out exactly like I envision in my head all the time. And so I have some tips that I need to remember. Thank you, Hannah. Some tips that I need to remember and some tips that I hope that you are going to write down. So grab a pen and a paper, because you're going to want to write some notes down, just some quick little notes. You don't have to take a whole lot, but just a few. In video #1, we talked about how to choose the right colors for your door hangers so that you can have a paint color combination that is beautiful and pleasing to the eye, that creates harmony and balance. In video 2, we talked about the importance of adding pattern and dimension to your door hangers so that they will pop. And so if you haven't watched those videos, be sure after you're done watching this video, if you're watching live, to go back and watch those other 2 next. But if you're watching the replay, I want you to pause this video and go back and watch videos 1 and 2 first, because they do build on each other. So if you haven't watched those videos, go watch them. You will also remember that in our last video, we gave away 2 prizes. You ready to hear who won? The winner of the 3 free stencil cut files is Rachel Pruitt. So Rachel, are you watching? If you guys know Rachel Pruitt, please tag her in the comments. The winner of the free stencil that I'm going to mail to you is Christy Gagliano. I hope I'm saying her name right. Gagliano, Gagliano. I don't know if you're watching, Christy, but you won a free stencil. So send me a message with which stencil you want, and Rachel Pruitt, send me a message with which free stencil cut files you want. Okay, so we've got 2 more prizes tonight. You guys excited? To win the first one, you have to share this video. So go ahead and share this video right now. Maybe make a little comment about how you're excited to learn about hand lettering or something like that. And then come back and comment shared, because I count, like, whenever I use the random.org generator to figure out who won, I count each one of the comments that say shared, and whatever number random tells me to pick is the one that I go down and count and find. So you have to comment the word shared in here to be entered. Okay, And that prize is going to be, what did I write down? Oh, a free month in the Painters Clubhouse. So if you decide to join Painters Clubhouse, your first month will be free. Yay! So somebody's going to win that. I'm going to give away a second prize at the end of this video, so stay tuned and I'll tell you how to win that prize at the end of the video. Today I'm going to build on what we've already discussed by giving you some practical hand lettering tips that you can use to gain more confidence in your door hanger paintings. We've got a lot to cover tonight, so make sure you've got your pen and paper ready so you can follow along. Anytime you've tried to hand letter on a door hanger, it can be hard. It's still hard for me. I mean, some things that I've written a lot, like say those little attachments that go on the baby door hangers that always say date, time, pounds, ounces, inches. I've written that so many times that it's not hard for me at all anymore. Hang on, I need a drink. I've been talking so fast and so much, so my mouth's getting dry. So that's not difficult for me anymore because I've done it so much. Something else that's not difficult for me is writing like the word welcome. But what is a big challenge for me, can you see that had caffeine in it? My eyes suddenly got glassy. Caffeine's my drug. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Something that is difficult for me is like whenever I am doing like a phrase or a quote, and especially if I'm at like a paint party or something and somebody says, can you write this whole Bible verse? And I'm like like the pressure's on, right? I've got to write that and I've got to make it beautiful and I've got to do it right then in front of them. And I can't, like, I want it to look balanced and harmonious and there's not a lot of time to practice. So that's what's stressful for me. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I hope you can take with you and practice so that you too can become confident with just writing the word welcome or just doing things like that you might have to do repetitively if you're painting door hangers. In the beginning, everything is hard. It's hard to get the letters centered on your door hanger because sometimes it might be a little too far to the left or a little too far to the right or whatever. So that's something that's kind of hard in the beginning. It's also hard when you like start writing and you run out of room at the end. So all of these things you're going to become better with the more you do it. Because now I don't really have to think so much about centering them and fitting them all on the door hanger as I did in the beginning. Wow, we're at 200 viewers. You guys are amazing. Thank you for sharing. Okay, and so another thing that you might have challenge with is just making it cute, like a cute style, or making it classy. And so I've got some tips for you. Hi, how are you guys? Hi, Lee Adams. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Let me start by saying I want to encourage you. This is important. I want to encourage you to embrace your inner amateur. That might sound kind of funny, but I want you to embrace and enjoy those imperfect little quirks and uncertain lines that may arise when you're starting out. They may actually be an indication of a style that you can end up claiming as all your own as you progress. Some of those weird, quirky little things might be the thing that sets you apart from everybody else in your hand lettering. Okay, I have 3 steps for you. We're going to do some actual hand lettering in just a moment, but let me get this out of the way. These are 3 things, like 3 steps you can take to becoming a better hand letterer. This is exactly what I did. Number 1, pay attention to styles that you love. What does that mean? Like if you're searching Pinterest for hand lettering, or if you see somebody else's door hanger on your Facebook feed, or you're looking on Pinterest and you see some gorgeous font, pay attention, like study the letters, study the shapes. What is it you love about that letter? What is it you love about the way those letters look together? Like maybe part of it is really scripty and part of it's block. You know how you've got the mix of the 2 kinds of fonts? That's a particular style. The script font with a block font paired with it. So that's something that you might need to take note of. That's something you love. What stands out about it to you? Is it that it has a big fancy flourish at the end of a letter? Or is it because they did the Y a certain way? Does it have serifs, or is it sans serifs? How many of you know what serifs are? Serifs are it's a term for a font that has the little line at the bottom of each end of the letter. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Let me see if a book back here has serifs. I've got all these books back here, and don't you know one of these will not have serifs? Well, none of these are a very good example. But anyways, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. They've got like the little lines. Oh goodness. Like the little lines at the end of the T and there and at the top of the Y. Those are called serifs. These are all my husband's books, by the way. They're all boring. They're like college books and stuff. But anyways, so serifs are the little lines that, can you guys see me? It just said trying to reconnect, like I had problems with Facebook. So hopefully we don't like go off the air in a minute. Okay, so the serifs are the little lines at the bottom of the letters. Sans serifs means it doesn't have any of those lines. So when you're looking at different kinds of fonts, if you find a font that you really love, pay attention. Is it a serif font or a sans serif font? So it either has the lines or it doesn't. And so that's, you know, some people on their door hangers, when they're writing their letters, will add those little lines at the top and the bottom. And sometimes to me that looks a little bit like the kind of font you would see like in an elementary school classroom. Oh, good, you see me. Rebecca, yay, I'm teaching you something. You learn something new every day, right? Okay, so step 2. So step 1 was pay attention to the styles you love and find out why you love them. Step 2, invest time in your learning. How do you do that? By watching others paint, like me, or by searching Pinterest for tutorials or hand lettering practice sheets. You can get free hand lettering practice sheets on Pinterest in several places. There's also people that sell them. So if you want to practice that muscle memory, you need to get you some practice sheets. And then step 3, practice a lot. I know that's not the fun answer because everybody wants me to like go bippity boppity boo, you're better at hand lettering, but that's not how this works. The only thing you can do is practice to get better. It's just like with sports or anything that you want to be good at, you gotta practice. Muscle memory is a real thing. It's real. So like when I'm painting, like in my mind, I could write the word "the" right now without even thinking about it because my hand has done it so many times. I could probably paint it on the wall with my eyes shut and it would look just like it did on my door hanger because I've painted that word so many times. Okay, some of you guys are saying that the video has paused. So hopefully those are old comments because I know Facebook sometimes is really slow about giving me the comments because it's showing that I'm still live on my end. Okay, so practice words that are common. Practice like the word welcome or the word happy or the word "the," because like if you're writing somebody's last name like the Bennetts, you're going to want to have to write "the." And also practice that little ampersand symbol, you know, the symbol that means and. You may want to practice that. So a few of those things are things you can do to become better at hand lettering because you're always going to probably need to know how to write the word welcome. So maybe practice 2 ways. You could practice a way that is in print and a way that's in cursive. And that way you've got 2 different styles of the word welcome that you can just whip out without even having to think about it. Okay. I've also got 5 tips for hand lettering. So those were the 3 steps to become better. But now here's 5 tips for lettering. First, use the right brush. Filbert tip brushes are great. And I have a bunch of these Filbert tip brushes like this. Let me show you. There's like a pack of 12 of these. I got a bunch of them. And they've got this white handle, and on each handle is a little number, and it tells what size they are. And so there's some that are like as big as my finger. That's for like great big letters. And then they've got some that are teeny tiny, really skinny, and that's for nice skinny lettering. So I'm fixing to demonstrate these for you guys. Yay, you stumbled across me today. I'm happy you're here. These are your favorite brushes too, Jan? I love these. I will never be without these. Matter of fact, I ordered myself a second set of these the other day just because I love them so much. So if you want to find these exact brushes, I have them linked on my resource list on southernadornmentsdecor.com. You just click resource list up at the top and there's a direct link to buy these on Amazon. And I think you can get a pack of 12 for like $10 right now. So that's cheap for 12 really great brushes. Okay, let's go ahead and do a demonstration. Let me get just a piece of white cardstock here. And hopefully my tripod doesn't fall over on me like it did the other night. That was a catastrophe. We're going to do this the right way today and actually just lower the phone and not lean the tripod over. Okay. I think that's about as low as I can get that right there for right now. I don't want to mess anything up. Okay, so let's start with, let's just show you this great big one. Let me get some black paint. I've got my handy dandy egg carton that I love keeping my paint in because it makes a nice little puddle. So that's another tip you might want to write down for when you're doing hand lettering. If you can keep your paint in a little puddle like this, you're going to have much better luck with getting plenty of paint on your brush and loading it up nicely. So, okay, let me just show you if I'm going to write, let's just write high, how big and fat this letter is going to be. Because of how big this brush is. So, and let me see, let me check my list. Okay, so tip number 2 for hand lettering is thicken up your downstrokes. So I'm going to go back over the downstroke of each of these and just make them just a little fatter, which is hard to do on this great big fat brush. So there's the word high, which I know it's backwards. Let me see if I can flip that for you guys, because I know that's going to be annoying to read these words backwards. Come on, Facebook, move a little faster. I clicked the button already. Okay, so let me rinse this brush out while it's doing that. Let's switch to a smaller one. That one was a size 12, so that's the biggest one. Okay, here's the option to switch the screen. There we go. Okay, so now you can see the word high. Okay, so this one is a size 6, so it's half the width of the other one. So let's write the word high again. And then I'm going to thicken up my downstrokes. So that's a trick to making it look like calligraphy, is you're going to want to thicken up your downstrokes and then keep your upstrokes nice and thin. It'll make them look kind of pretty and dainty. So there you go. So there's the difference in a size 12 and a size 6. So that size 6 looks much better. Let's go even smaller and see what we get. Okay, this is a size 3. So we're cutting it in half again. This is a 12, a 6, and now a 3. Something else I want to point out is, like with my H, hang on, I forgot to thicken up my downstroke here. I'm just kind of fattening the width of that downstroke. Okay, so there we go. And so for a different size, so if I was going to have to write a lot of letters on a door hanger and didn't have a lot of space, I'm going to want to use the smaller brush, because the fatter brush gives me much larger letters and I'm going to run out of room. So probably my favorite size for doing most hand lettering is the size 4. So it's kind of right in between these two sizes here, the size 4. What was I going to say? Oh, about the letter H. So this, I could have done my letter H like this. Can you tell the difference? What did I do differently? So like normally in my regular cursive handwriting, it would look like this. But I'm wanting it to look kind of like calligraphy. So I'm pulling that hump out and away from this part just a little bit so that it looks a little looser. It doesn't look so stiff. This looks a little stiff. Okay, let's go down to, let's do the size 4, like I said was my favorite. Is that the one I just put in the water? Yes, it was. Let me rinse that out again. Hang on. Okay. Oh, I just realized I can't see your comments. There we go. Deb says, do you use the flat side of the brush or always use the flat side? It kind of depends. Like if I'm wanting to do a nice thin stroke like this, I might drag my brush at like a side angle going up. But then when I'm doing this downstroke, I'm going to flatten the brush out, which is another tip I should have told you. See how the bottom of this letter is nice and smooth like that? When you're doing your letters, let me think of a letter. Let's just do like the letter A. You're going to go, and so when I'm going up, I'm not flattening my brush out. I'm kind of just doing the angle, the side angle of it. And then when I get to the top, I'm flattening my brush out and going down. And I started to run out of paint. But like I'm smashing my brush against the would, and then when I get to the end of the letter, lift straight up. And see, it creates a nice smooth end. Now if I don't lift straight up, this is what it's going to look like. Well, here we go, right here. So it's going to be more feathered or rough looking. It's not going to be a nice smooth end. And so another way that you can make your letters fancy is you can do like a fancy little, you know, crossbar, kind of like that. You can even add a little something else in it where you kind of go like this, and then you do a little curl at the end. So you can get all kinds of fancy with your letters. Just try to mess around and create something that is unique. What is the brand for these? You know, I don't really know. They don't have a brand printed on them. They're just some Amazon special. So it may say the brand whenever you go over to Amazon. I'm not quite sure. Oh, thank you, Scarlett. Okay, so thicken up your downstrokes and thin upstrokes. That was tip number 2. Tip number 3 was lift up your brush at the end for a smooth finish at the end of a letter. Tip number 4, let's get another piece of paper. Tip number 4, mix your capital letters and your lowercase letters for a fun and easy whimsical look. So like for the word welcome, let's do something kind of fun and funky. We're going to do like a little curl here and then do like a little loop in the middle. And then do another curl up here. So we've got a nice whimsical W. And then for an E, we may do like just a lowercase e. And then for a L, we could do a capital. We could mix it together. And then a lowercase c. And see how letter C, see? I rested that letter C right up on top of that letter L, which gives me more room if I don't have a whole lot of room. This brush size is a size 4, Mary. Oh, that's a good idea, Carla. Okay, and so you see how I added a serif to that C? I added that little serif. It gives it, like, not all the other letters have serifs, but I added one to the C. And then for the O, I might do a little bit of a larger O with a cute little, like, curl, kind of like cursive. And so you can mix cursive, you can mix capital and lowercase letters. And then I'm going to add a serif to this M. I'm going to add a little loopy loop in the middle of it. This just creates a nice, fun, whimsical, playful look. And then I'm also going to add a little curly at the bottom. So I'm not necessarily on these thickening up my downstrokes like I would be if I'm doing cursive or like calligraphy. And I'm going to match my E to the other E. You could also do your E kind of like this. Those are always kind of fun. So I could have done my E like that. Okay, so that was tip number 4. Mix your capital and lowercase letters for a fun, easy, whimsical look. And then number 5, add a drop shadow or a highlight to make the letters pop. Let me get another piece of paper for this. I like a fresh sheet of paper every time. I'm wasting all kinds of paper. Okay, what word should we do? Let's do hello. So I love doing H's. H's are easy for me for some reason. I think my hand is so used to doing them because I do the word the all the time that I don't really have to think about it. Okay, so instead of going straight up, I'm going to come out just a little bit, and I'm going to go even lower than the bottom of this letter right here so that it looks kind of whimsical. And another tip for you is to, in between each letter, pick up your brush. So I didn't go straight into the E and write the E-L-L-O. I picked up my brush and stopped for a moment. And so now I'm going to do the letter E, because if I did it like this, well, let me show you. If I did my E like this, when it goes right next to my L's, it's not going to look much different from my L's. It's going to look just like regular handwriting. But I want it to look just a little different than my regular handwriting. So I'm going to lift up my brush and I'm going to do another E. And I'm even going to take this and connect it up here And I am going to thicken up these downstrokes. And then for my L's, instead of just going straight up, I'm going to start halfway up the L, do a loop, and then come back down. And then we're going to connect that E to the L. And so thicken up those downstrokes. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the next L. Start halfway up, connect and come down. That takes a little bit of practice, but if you practice this letter several times, it'll begin to feel much more natural. And then an O. And then connect the letter. And then thicken the downstroke. Okay, so we've got the word hello. Now, paint hay, y'all. You'd love to see me do that. Okay, we might do that in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to put this brush back in my water. And I'm going to get now a round tipped brush. Let me get a drink. And do I have any gray paint up here? I don't see any. Can you give me a second? Let me grab some gray paint. Here we go. This is Granite Gray. It's an apple barrel paint color. And I'm going to add a little drop shadow to this lettering. Now, this can be kind of intimidating, adding a drop shadow. So what you're going to want to do is create a rule for yourself and stick by the rule when you do a drop shadow. So I'm going to create a rule that my light, let's pretend like my glass here is the light, or actually just the light from my thing can be the light, but this is going to be my light right up here. So the light is going to project down this way. So naturally, if the light is shining on this side of my letters, I'm going to create a shadow on the right and bottom side of all of my letters. So I need to remember that, the right and bottom side of every letter. So on this H, I'm going to go to the right. I've got too much paint. Let me wipe some of this off. But I've got a round tip size 2 brush. I'm going to come along here, and it doesn't even have to touch the letter. It can just go down along beside it. So on the right side, and then the bottom, and then the bottom of this. So everywhere that there's a right side, and there's also a right side to this loop here. Now this would be the left side, and this would be the top. This would be the left side, so I'm not doing that there. Now, let's see. Oh, I'm getting my hand in the wet paint. I'm going to do it on the right side of this part here and connect it to the bottom. And then I'm going to find the bottom of this loop here and just create one going there. And then this is also a right side. So just follow your little rule, whatever rule you make up for yourself, that it's going to be the right or the left side or whatever, and stick to that rule. So I'm sticking to the rule of putting it on the right side of all of my lettering, and then the bottom. And this creates a fun little shadow that will make your letters kind of pop and give them a three-dimensional effect. Let's see, and then the right side of this loop here. I want you guys to practice this at home, because it does take a little bit of practice to get used to. And you might not want to do this on all of your door hangers, but it is a fun little technique that you can begin incorporating to add some depth. Okay, I think I got all the places. Let me show you. Oh, my phone is trying to die on me. Okay, you see the nice little shadow on the right and bottom side? And I just used a round tipped brush with some gray paint. And you can see it's not perfect when I get it up close. Like, it's definitely not perfect. From back here though, doesn't that look cool? Looks so much better. I mean, you're not going to be looking at it this close anyway. And then another thing you can do is add a highlight on top of your letters. Now, if it scares you to death to add like a white highlight on top of your letters, I want to show you a little tip. Like a lot of times people will use white, and that's totally fine, but if that scares you, instead of using white, you could take just a tiny bit of gray or a tiny bit of white and mix with the black to create just a lighter color than, so I'm creating just a lighter black than the black that's on there. It's more like a charcoal gray. And then I'm going to do that to all the downstrokes. I'm just going to add like a little line in the middle of each downstroke. I'll show you up close what this looks like in just a moment. It really is pretty. So like I said, you can do this with white, but it's almost better and more subtle if you do it with a slightly lighter color than your paint color. Look how pretty that is. It looks three-dimensional. It's like popping off the page, isn't it? All right. So let's do a quick review of what we've learned. Let me pull this back up. Hope you guys were taking notes. Ah, come on. I've tightened it up so tight so it wouldn't fall, and now it's too tight. Aw, thank you for the hearts and likes, guys. I appreciate that. Okay. La, so pretty. Makes me want to go paint some more words. Okay, so let's review what we've learned. Now that you've got those wheels turning, I want to hear from you. I know you've picked up lots of ideas from this video, and now it's time to get started. So in order to win prize number 2, and you're gonna love this prize, one lucky person is going to win a brand new set of these brushes. There's 12 of them. I'm gonna mail them to you. Yay! I've already ordered them from Amazon and they've shipped to me, so they should be here in like a day or 2, and then I'll send them out to you. So, in order to win these brushes, as soon as this video ends, I'm going to post a new post on my page that says share your nuggets. And if you've been watching the past 2 videos, you know that a nugget is a juicy piece of information that you grabbed from this video that you're going to take and implement and you're excited to use. So a nugget is something you learned. So I want you to find the post that says share your nuggets and comment underneath that post and let me know what little nugget of information you gleaned from this training. The second prize is going to be a pack of these 12 Filbert paintbrushes. And if you found this video helpful, odds are other people will too. So give somebody else a hand by sharing this video on Facebook, and that will ensure that you're entered to win prize number 1 that we mentioned earlier in the video. And prize number 1 was a free month in our Painters Clubhouse group, which reopens on Thursday. How many of you guys are excited about Painters Clubhouse reopening on Thursday? It will be open from the 26th through the 31st, and I'm going to be coming back again with you guys soon to talk about that. So, so many of you guys have expressed that how helpful this has been, and I'm so excited that you've enjoyed this workshop so far. And tonight was the 3rd video in the series, and then Wednesday night we're going to have a 4th video. Some of you guys have been wanting more trainings, and many of you have been asking how you can join the Painters Clubhouse, and I would love to see you in there. In the next video, we're going to talk more about that membership and how you can join. The way it works is that the group is going to be open up to the general public only on a very limited basis. So we opened it back in April, and we're going to open it again on Thursday just for 6 days so new members can join. Thank you, Lisa. She said Clubhouse is fabuloso. I do this so that it runs kind of like a college class, right? We all get in the class together and registration opens for a few days and then it closes so that we can create a space for the new members and deliver awesome content. So if you're interested in learning more about painting door hangers and growing your confidence, you're going to want to join me in the next video when I lay it all out for you. But for now, I want to leave you with this. Just by taking part in this workshop, you're already closer to becoming a confident painter. Think about video 1. In video 1, you learned how to choose the correct paint colors. This training alone helped you do that more easily without having to guess which colors look good together. Oh, you're welcome, Jane. Thank you, Diane. So it made it easier to choose your paint colors, and it's amazing how simple it can be once you know those few steps. Then you made big strides in video 2 where we saw how to add pattern and dimension to your door hangers, even with my tripod falling over in the middle of the video. And for those of you who were scared to use stencils, I hope that video helped because that's a huge confidence booster once you figured out how to use stencils. And I shared some very important tips with you in that video for getting your stencils to come out beautiful. And I know it's going to pay off for you guys in the future. And today I've got had some awesome tips for you for hand lettering. I hope you guys were taking notes and wrote it all down so that you can implement it in your hand lettering in the future. To make it even better, we're going to cut to the chase in the next video so that you know exactly what steps you need to take to get better results in your door hangers faster with less frustration and trying to figure it out on your own And in just a few days, you've learned so much about how to paint door hangers. And in the next video, I'm going to share the next step of the journey. I'm so excited what's in store for you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Yay! Tracy said she wants in the clubhouse too. Thank you, Ricky. For those of you who are in the clubhouse, if you want to leave a little love and testimony in the comments, I'm not going to stop you. I know others, they can hear from me all day how much I love the clubhouse. And they can hear from me all day how they should join, how wonderful it is. But when they hear it from you, how much you love it and how much it's taught you, that's way more believable because you're a paying member, right? So they would much rather hear it from the horse's mouth. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to share the video if you want to win a free month in the Painters Clubhouse. And come, and as soon as I click finish on this post, on this Facebook Live, I'm going to go post the Share Your Nuggets post, and you can comment underneath that to win some of these brushes. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys again later. Bye-bye.